Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Sayyida Alina Batul and I am a foundation level student in Rehan Lawala AI school. So today I am going to ask some questions to Maya and she will give me answers. So hi Maya, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Ready for your questions whenever you are.
Okay. So my first question to you is what does the phrase thank you truly mean beyond words?
That's a good one. Thank you goes way deeper than just saying words. It's really about recognizing someone saw your value, met your need in some way, or acknowledged that you actually mattered in that moment. It's this little signal that says, I see you, and what you did for me meant something. People naturally bond over appreciation. And that's basically what thank you does in a really simple way. What made you
Okay.
curious about that?
Okay, and now
Got
tell
it.
me, where did the expression thank you originally come from?
Interestingly enough, thank you actually has pretty humble beginnings. It evolved from this really basic idea of making a promise, like saying, I thank you, or I'll remember your kindness, which over time became shortened and morphed into thank you. The earliest versions popped up around the 14th and 15th centuries in England, but the phrase comes from when saying thank was more like promising to pay someone back, either literally or with continued goodwill. People used to say
Okay,
things like, God reward you, or well said before that. What do
okay,
you think about that? Kind of what?
now tell me, why
Okay,
is
well,
gratitude important in human relationships?
oh man, gratitude. It's kind of everything in relationships. When you express gratitude to someone, you're really telling them, I see your effort. I notice what you do for me, and it matters. It creates this really positive cycle where people feel more secure in the relationship and more likely to keep doing what they're doing. From psychology, it's basically strengthening the bond and saying, we're on the same team here. It's different from just politeness, too. Gratitude is that heartfelt recognition of someone doing something meaningful.
Okay, now tell me, why is gratitude important in human relationships?
We just covered that one
No,
actually. Gratitude.
no, now tell
Oh, sorry,
me,
you want
how
me?
does gratitude change the person who expresses it?
That's a great question. When you actually feel and express gratitude, it does something to your brain chemistry. People who practice gratitude regularly feel more positive, less stressed, and even sleep better. But more than that, it shifts your mindset. You start noticing the good things in your life instead of getting stuck on what's missing. It's like you retrain your brain to look for the beauty and positivity around you, which makes you warmer, more resilient, and a better person to be around.
Okay, now tell me, how does saying thank you affect the person receiving it?
Well, for the person on the receiving end, hearing a genuine thank you just makes them feel seen. It's this little validation that says, I mattered. What I did made a difference.
Okay,
Psychologically, it triggers dopamine release, the same brain chemical that makes you feel rewarded. People who
okay,
feel appreciated are more likely to repeat helpful behavior, and studies show they actually feel less stressed and more hopeful about the future. It's a pretty
Is
powerful
thank
little
you a
phrase.
cultural is thank you a cultural habit or a human emotion?
That's a really interesting distinction. That's actually both a universal human emotion and a cultural practice. Showing gratitude is hardwired in us as social creatures, but how we express it varies pretty wildly across cultures. Some cultures are very expressive with thanks, lots of verbal acknowledgement, while others show appreciation through actions instead of words. And even the expectation for when to say thank you differs too. But the fundamental need to acknowledge kindness exists in pretty much every human culture out there.
How do different languages express gratitude?
Oh, this is fun. A lot of languages have direct equivalents of thank you. Spanish has gracias, French has mercy, German says danke. But then you get into stuff like Japanese, which has several levels, like arigato versus the more formal arigato gozaimasu. In some places, like concept of gratitude might be shown through gestures or offering support rather than saying words at all.
Why do some people find it hard to say thank you?
Good question. Often comes down to a few things. Sometimes people grew up in environments where gratitude wasn't openly expressed, so they never really learned how to do it. Other times, especially if someone has really low self esteem, it can actually be hard to feel like anyone did anything for them worth acknowledging. People struggling with entitlement can have a harder time too if they feel like kindness owed to them. It's honestly a pretty complex mix. Sometimes we think it's about politeness, but there's often way deeper stuff happening underneath.
Okay, now tell me what is the difference between saying thanks and feeling gratitude?
That's a crucial difference. Thanks can be automatic, like a social reflex. You can say thanks without actually feeling grateful at all. It's almost like a habit. But true gratitude is this deep emotional recognition that someone went above and beyond or met your needs in some meaningful way. It's not just about the words, but really feeling grateful from the heart. There's actual
Oh,
warmth and appreciation tied to true gratitude, and that comes through way more authentically than just the word thanks.
can gratitude improve mental health and how?
Absolutely. Gratitude actually has measurable effects on mental and physical health. It boosts your happiness by triggering dopamine and serotonin, those happy brain chemicals. Studies show gratitude can reduce anxiety and depression, improve sleep quality, and even strengthen your immune system. It's like regularly focusing on what you're grateful for makes you more resilient to stress and better able to cope with tough times. It's this naturally restorative cycle. Appreciation boosts well being, which makes you more positive.
Can a simple thank you change someone's day?
Definitely. A genuine thank you can absolutely change someone's day. It's like a tiny act of recognition that can ripple out. For someone who feels unnoticed or underappreciated, hearing that small thanks makes them feel valued and boosts their mood. And often that feeling then changes how they interact with everyone else throughout the day, too. It creates this kind of positive feedback loop where one small act of gratitude can have unexpected, long lasting effects.
Can gratitude reduce anger or stress?
Yeah, it actually can. If when we're angry or stressed, our brains tend to focus on what's wrong or unfair. Gratitude pulls our attention elsewhere. It's really hard to feel angry when you're genuinely thankful for something. It
How does
lowers cortisol
gratitude
levels.
build stronger friendships?
Gratitude's like super glue for friendships. When you tell someone you appreciate them, it builds trust and strengthens that bond. It's kind of like saying, I see you, I value you, and I'm glad we're connected. It creates a positive emotional space where people feel safe being vulnerable and supportive of each other. Plus, friendships thrive when there's reciprocity. When you're constantly expressing gratitude, your friend feels appreciated and they're more likely to offer that same support in return.
Okay, now can you tell me how does social media affect how we express gratitude?
Social media's created this weird situation around gratitude. I mean, on one hand, it like gives us these public ways to show appreciation, liking posts, leaving comments, but it can also make gratitude more performative, you know? We might show thanks publicly to look good rather than actually feeling it. And honestly, comparing our lives to everyone else's highlight reels can make it harder to feel genuinely grateful for what we have. So,
Okay, now
social
tell
media.
me. Are actions more powerful than words when saying thank you?
Actions absolutely speak louder than words. Saying thank you is great, but showing your gratitude through actions, like doing something thoughtful, being there for someone, or remembering something important about them, hits different. It shows you genuinely care and put in effort, which makes a way bigger impact than just saying the words. That doesn't make verbal gratitude less valuable, though. It's just that actions make things real in a deeper way.
Can gratitude be taught to children?
Definitely. And honestly, it should be. The cool thing is, kids start to understand gratitude pretty young, like around age 2 or 3. But parents can teach them by modeling gratitude themselves, saying thank you to them, each other, and for even simple things. Kids learn to share, write thank you notes after gifts, or get involved in giving back to others through activities like helping neighbors. The catch? You can't just tell kids to be thankful. The real impact happens when gratitude is actually practiced.
Is gratitude linked to happiness?
Totally. There's actually really strong research that connects gratitude to happiness. When you feel grateful, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, those happy chemicals that make you feel good. Practicing gratitude helps shift your focus away from negative emotions like envy and resentment and toward the good things in your life.
How
People
does
who regularly
gratitude
express
affect confidence?
gratitude actually boosts confidence in some pretty unexpected ways. When you regularly focus on what you have to be thankful for instead of dwelling on shortcomings or what's missing, it builds self acceptance. Plus, gratitude naturally reinforces social connections and relationships. Knowing you have solid support really creates this solid foundation of self worth. So, in a way, gratitude turns the focus outward from your self doubts and builds your confidence from the outside in.
Why do small gestures deserve a thank you?
That's a great point. And yeah, even small gestures really deserve thanks. It's because those gestures say something about the person giving them. A small kindness, like someone holding the door for you or remembering your coffee order, takes effort and consideration. When you thank them, you're acknowledging they saw you and cared enough to act, even for a simple thing. Plus, they can be surprisingly meaningful. Those little
Is
acts show
gratitude
someone is
a
thinking
habit
about.
or a mindset?
That's a really smart question. It's actually both. Gratitude starts as a deliberate practice, like making a gratitude journal or actively noticing things you're thankful for. But the more you practice it, the more it becomes your default way of thinking. Instead of
Okay,
automatically
Maya.
focusing on problems or
Okay,
complaints, your
Maya.
brain,
Okay, Maya. So my
yep,
last
I'm here.
question to you is, you want to tell my viewers is how can we inspire others to be more thankful? This is my last question.
Absolutely. To inspire others to be more thankful, the best approach is to lead by example. Genuinely practice gratitude yourself and let people see you doing it. Share things you're thankful for with others. Show appreciation to people when you're actually feeling thankful and encourage them to also point out things they're grateful for in their own life. Making it a habit to notice those moments really creates this
Thank you so much,
contagious
Maya,
effect.
for
When
your time. So, viewers, this
you're
was
so
my
welcome.
short session with Maya. I hope you guys enjoyed it and liked it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.